Okay, we're here at the Robertson Holden International Speedway. It's the 2020 New Zealand Sprint Car Champs, and I've seen him wandering in the pits. I had no idea who he was, but I've hauled him aside, and apparently you're Alan Batt from Ruapuna. It's good to meet. It's good to meet you, mate. And hey, look, cheers for all this information you've given me. These South Island guys, I know nothing about them. You've given me a stack of information, but you know all about them and the War of the Wings series that you're involved in.
Yep.
So who are these South Island guys we're looking out for tonight?
I think we've got a really, really good, strong contingent. Yeah, we've got some of the young guys in there. Matthew Levisage, even though he spends his time racing up in Auckland, he's one that I think has got a huge chance tonight. Through that experience racing up at the Springs, he's picked up a couple of feature wins up there. Don't write off the South Islanders. You know, we haven't had a South Island win for a while. I think Jamie Duffy was the last one, even though he was registered to Auckland. Duffy's is Christchurch, is a cathedral. And you know, just the South Island scene is so good right now. The War of the Wings has brought these guys through. We've got young Caleb, born third generation racer. And then you go to the other end of things and you've got the likes of Paddy North, a very experienced super saloon driver. And he took out his first sprint car feature win earlier this year. Ray Bourne, who's been racing about as long as Speedway tracks have been going in New Zealand. He's another guy, huge amount of experience. Jamie Duff, the Duff men, they've struggled this year, but they've just found their mojo. They've got Jonathan Allard helping them, and so I rate Duffy a very high chance here. And
He won the event last time was here.
yeah, he did, and you know, we just need to look at this speedway track, and for sprint cars, this is a difficult racetrack. You know, it's relatively flat, relatively narrow. The South Island guys, I think, are going to surprise a lot of folk because the scene down in the South Island is very strong. You got the War of the Wings that predominantly is based out of Christchurch, but we run at Nelson. This year we got one round at Cromwell. We're going to Greymouth in a few weeks' time, Blenheim. And then down south, they've got their own series, the Southern Sprint Car Series, and so they're getting like 14 to 16 cars. The War of the Wings is like 16 to 18. There's a few guys that cross over, but the sprint car scene down south is very strong and just continues to get stronger.
I don't recall seeing this many South Island cars in Palmerston North for for any sprint car event. And it just seems like the last few years it's really taken off down south, like you say, with the series. I know the War of the Wings has been going for quite some time, and obviously this new Southland series. But these guys have just come out of the woodwork for this title. I suppose being pretty central helps as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is probably the strongest South Island contingent that has travelled number-wise and ability-wise ever. I think you've got to go back to about 1972, 73, when up at Auckland, Christchurch drivers got first, second and third, and there was a whole bunch of them that went up there then. This would be it's the cream of the crop from the South Island that are here. You know, there's a couple of them. Matt Honeywell, unfortunately, Matt hasn't made it, but you know, with the exception of him, you know, we've really got a good bunch of guys, and talent-wise and ability-wise, these guys are going to surprise a whole bunch. Are they ready for this track here? Time will tell, but the Palmerston North is a great leveler for sprint cars, and you know, if you're fast, if you're smooth, but probably more importantly, if you can avoid other people's trouble, you know, you're in with more than a chance.
I think it levels the field because this season I know a lot of these North Islanders have done a lot of laps around Palmy in the past, but we've only had one sprint car meeting this season. That was opening night, and I think there was only 6 cars, and I think only 3 of those 6 are here tonight. Yeah. So it's a pretty level field, like you say. One name you didn't mention amongst that South Island lot that I've heard a heck of a lot about, Connor Rangi, straight out of mini stocks. I know he done 1 or 2 meetings in the stock car, but he's killing it in the sprint car ranks down south for, what, a 20-year-old?
Yeah, he's just phenomenal. And Connor, his first run for the season was last Saturday night. He's raced TQs down in Christchurch up until last Saturday night when we had the Gold Cup, and late start to the season, and the kid goes out there and finishes 4th in the Gold Cup. And you know, the Gold Cup down there is probably the biggest individual race of the summer, and this kid, he's a real talent. Qualified on the front row of last year's Nationals, finished 4th overall, and he's just another one. He's a bit of a silent assassin. He's fast, he's spectacular, but he's also got a very old head on extremely young shoulders. So yeah, you know, I was always going to forget someone, wasn't I? Who else have I forgot?
Oh, there's plenty. But hey, look, I'm gonna expose a bit of age here. How many New Zealand sprint car titles have you been to? How many you called?
Well, this is the 50th, so I've been to about 38, 39 sort of thing. I did sit down and count them all once, and I think I've called 12 of them, I think it is. So I've seen a few of them, and yeah, I don't know if I'll be hanging around long enough to do any more.
Do you have a favourite New Zealand title that you've experienced, whether it be calling or watching? Is there one that sticks with you just for anything?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I cannot remember the year. But Alan Wakeling went down to Christchurch. His father, who was a hell of a decent guy, old Jim, passed away a couple of weeks before. Everyone else got down to Christchurch easily. Waco, they were on the Inter-Island ferry, and the Cook Strait was playing up, and they barely got to Christchurch. But the minute that I saw the look in Alan Wakeling's eyes, no one was going to beat him. And he was right in for it. There was also one, that's favourite for a funny reason. I'm a big Jonathan Allard fan, and unfortunately, J.A. blew an engine up at Western Springs, and Pete Murphy sort of took it with a few laps to go. But I think I really like that for the drama, and the Sprint Car Nationals throws a huge amount of drama at people. Last year's one at Cromwell, it was a belter of a Sprint Car Nationals. So yeah, there's those three probably stick out above the rest of them. I've been to one up here. I missed the one that Jamie Duff won, which annoys me somewhat that I never got here for that. But this is a great venue for it because it's such a leveller. So yeah, that's my three. And yeah, I don't know how many I've done. I know I've attended like 38, 39 of the things. And,
unreal.
Yeah.
I think it was my third. Right, on the spot, top South Island car, top North Island car, and which way they're finishing on that podium?
Jamie Larson, top North Island car, I think. Top South Island, I'll go for Jamie Duff. I'll go for Jamie Duff. Like I say, they struggled. Jonathan Allard's crew chief for them this weekend, and he found his mojo, and he's a smart operator, that Jamie Duff. So that's my pick. Don't get me to choose a podium because, man, give me a dartboard.
That's the one.